Broadcasting live from Dar es Salaam, this is Tbcnews, our top stories. Inbound travel insurance soon mandatory in Zanzibar. Tanzania-India Triangular Development Partnership eyes to advance Tanzania's clean energy ambitions.
For development is your testament.
Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Nasa Kingo. Just a reminder, you can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest on our pages, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter pages at TBC Online. And we start in Arusha, where the Minister of State, President's Office, Finance and Planning in Zanzibar, Dr. Saadam Kuya Salum, says the mandatory inbound travel insurance for foreigners entering Zanzibar is scheduled to come into force in October this year to reduce the cost incurred by the government when a tourist suffers a problem, including death, illness, and even loss of travel documents. Here are more details.
Speaking in the city of Arusha, the minister insists that there has been little understanding of the matter, forcing her and the team to meet with tourism operators.
Some did not have enough information about how to get health insurance. At first, one was required to pay $44, which covers 92 days of the insurance. Then some members have now suggested that the price to be reduced. Also, the issue of other benefits was discussed and explanations were given.
Furthermore, explaining further on the mandatory travel insurance, the minister says the governments of both sides, mainland and the islands, will sit together to discuss the best way to increase its effectiveness in both sides of the union.
In some instances, the tourists may not be able to receive some services. For instance, if a tourist dies, if they don't have insurance, it may be difficult to transport their bodies back home. That is when the government is usually transporting the tourists.
The chairman of the Association of Tourist Guides, Tanto Wilbord Chambulo, has requested the revolutionary government of Zanzibar to put the directive in writing to help to communicate with tourism agents and tourists coming to the country.
We have received some clarification about the various issues, and we ask that all this resolution reached today to be put into official writings. This is because our job is to disseminate this resolution to the large masses, such as to tourism agents.
The President of Zanzibar, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, says his government will continue to support the efforts of the international academic institutions that are willing to work with Zanzibar to build its education sector. Dr. Mwinyi made the remarks today when he met and held talks with the Dean of Imperial University from UK, Professor Lam Wamsley, and his delegation. Here are more details.
President Dr. Mwinyi says Zanzibar still needs to expand its academic scope to stimulate economy and skills of its people. He mentioned the areas of business, health and communication technology as important areas for the country, expressing his support for the desire of the Imperial University in England to establish various programs in collaboration with the National University of Zanzibar, SUZA. He emphasized that Zanzibar continues to put more emphasis on strengthening its tertiary education system to prepare needed professionals in various sectors. The delegation is in the country to explore areas of cooperation and ultimately to establish various training programs.
25 Tanzanians are expected to attend an intensive capacity building program next month in India under the support of the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID. The program follows the United States and India to have united to drive Tanzania's clean energy progress, reinforcing Tanzania's energy infrastructure and advancing renewable energy. Antonia Kiveria has more details.
Speaking in Dar es Salaam, the U.S. Ambassador Mike Obrado says the U.S. government, through its Millennium Challenge Corporation, has invested $200 million in the country's energy sector, which has financed power lines to bring communities on the national grid and a 37-meter cable from Tanzania mainland to Zanzibar.
Major problems of the world, particularly when you're dealing with resources like how to manage water, how to manage the electrical grid, can never be solved unilaterally by a single country by itself. And it's becoming increasingly more evident that it is difficult to solve those problems by exclusive and limited bilateral relationships only.
On the other hand, Indian High Commissioner to Tanzania, Bishwadip Dey, elaborates that India has made a phenomenal progress in the field of renewable energy in the recent years, and today the country has a total installed renewable energy capacity of 197 gigawatts, making India fourth globally in renewable energy.
Phenomenal progress in the field of renewable energy in recent years. Today we have total installed renewable energy capacity of 197 gigawatt, making us fourth globally in this area. We are happy to share our knowledge and expertise with our Tanzanian friends. Tanzania is blessed with abundant renewable energy resources. We are ready to support Tanzanian vision to diversify its energy portfolio and invest in cleaner energy solutions.
Furthermore, the Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Energy dealing with electricity and renewable, Hatibu Kazungu, says that Tanzania is committed to enhance its renewable energy capabilities so that to drive economic growth and improve the quality of people's lives.
Leadership in global initiatives. Tanzania's dedication to harnessing renewable resources for development is a testament to the transformative power of clean energy in driving economic growth.
The 25 Tanzanians for a specialized advanced energy grid operations training program making a key milestone in the US-India-Tanzania triangular partnership.
Getting knowledge from the other country to see how are they running their network and how are they managing their maintenance and all regarding to that one.
We can go there to see how India, because India have got some condition climate which resemble as the state in Tanzania.
Antonia Kivaria, Tbcnews.
All the best to the delegation. Guangzhou is the capital of Guangdong province and China's third largest city. It is also home to a thriving African community. For one man, the city offers the perfect blend of economic partnership and cultural exchange. Our correspondent Robert Nagila has the story.
It's early morning and 30-year-old Justice Kwandama, a Tanzanian national living in China, is already at his warehouse near Guangzhou to prepare his next shipment to Africa. Justice runs a logistics company offering shipping solutions for goods from China to destinations across Africa.
Most of our customers come, they cannot afford to buy or ship a full container by themselves. So we help them to consolidate in small parts, and we consolidate in one container, send back to Africa.
He first came to China in 2018 to study Chinese. He established the business 2 years later after realizing the logistical challenges small African traders face. The shipments are mainly made up of clothes purchased by traders from one of the largest markets in Guangzhou.
And it's here at the Yulong market that Justice gets his goods for exports. And here he is. Justice?
Hey, how are you, brother?
Not too bad. So tell us a bit about your business.
So I consolidate goods for Tanzania people and all other Africa. So I'm here to look for the customers.
The market is always crowded with African traders looking to replenish their stock back home. They then rely on Justice and others to ship their goods for them. There are more than 1,500 shops at the Yulong Fashion Plaza selling everything from modern clothes to traditional African wear for men, women and children. The market's project manager says the clothes manufactured in China cater for all types of African fashion.
East Africa and the South Africa and the West Africa. You can see all of them is the quite styles for them, yeah?
Early this year, Justice decided to venture into the restaurant business. Why an East African restaurant in Guangzhou?
We've been having other countries' restaurants, Arabs restaurants, Turkish restaurants, West African, a lot of West African restaurants. So we East African people, we have our own dishes, we have our own recipes.
And so, Chamois Restaurant was born.
When you eat your country food and you're in a foreign country, it feels home.
His customers agree.
In terms of food, I don't miss home because here I'm in home.
Local Chinese nationals are among his regular customers, demonstrating how African and Chinese people coexist in harmony, not only in business, but also while sharing their culture.
Interesting story there from Guangzhou, China. Now, moving to the transport sector, the government has urged to allow Air Tanzania Company Limited, ATCL, to purchase a good number of small aircrafts to cater for the domestic market and additionally long-haul aircrafts to support international flights so as to help the company boost its efficiency and generate profit. The call has been made in Dar es Salaam during a book launch titled ATCL Business Model, A Tale of Sweet and Sour, which portrays the airline's transition from ATC to ATCL. Speaking during the launch, the former Controller and Auditor General, Ludovic Uto, said that the government must focus on middle-class society with adequate purchasing power to enhance companies' revenue.
What the book is arguing is that there is a need for a country to have a strong, operational, national carrier, which would create a strong hub in either our capital, Dar es Salaam, in either our city, Dar es Salaam, or our capital, Dodoma, which would greatly ease the travel of international travelers.
That's a contract between ATCL and Tanzania Freight Agents, whereby ATCL has been leasing aircraft from Tanzania Freight Agents. We are saying that's not appropriate. The government should work on that. We are told they are working on that. I think they should expedite on working on that to see that they abolish it so that ATC can own the aircraft and operate them to alleviate other costs which are not necessary for them to incur.
The book furthermore recommends that the firm should be in charge of all aviation-related activities, including the ownership of airports and aviation-related services. Moving now to Kigoma region, the availability of safe and cleaner water in Kasulu district, Kigoma region, has significantly improved, increasing from an average of 57% to 78% over the past 3 years. Speaking to TBC News, the Deputy Minister for Water, Kundo Matthew, says the government plans to accelerate further new projects aiming to increase water accessibility to 92% in Kisulu by October 2025. Here are more details with Abdul Latif.
This is part of 28-town project currently being implemented in Kasulu district at Kigoma region. The government has allocated over 35 billion shillings for this investment, aimed at ensuring more than 2,000 residents of Kasulu to have access to safe and clean water.
Once all these projects are completed, we expect water access in Kasulu town to reach 92%. What can we say to the people of Kasulu about Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan? She is truly a leader who keeps her promises. She values women as they are the ones who suffer the most when it comes to the case of water shortages.
Deputy Minister for Water, Kundo Matthew, visited the project to inspect the progress of its construction.
Can you agree 3 months pipeline should be complete?
Sir, I'll rework and to your Honorable Chair,
I'll try to submit the revised schedules.
While at the site, the Deputy Minister stressed to the contractors the importance of increasing efforts to complete the work as quickly as possible.
They have to make sure that in 2 days' time they have to submit their work plan for the pipeline. Secondly, they have to submit the work plan for the water treatment plant. And another thing, they have to submit to me the work plan for the intake, where that we have to take the water from there before getting here for the treatment. We just wish that by the end of December this year, it should be completed, because we expect by next year the water should be injected to the existing infrastructure before the whole new infrastructure being implemented.
Currently, the project is over 30% complete, and the contractor has pledged to work day and night to finish it on time.
Structure-wise, the major structures will almost be 60 to 70% complete. Like this structure, say clear water summit will be 100% complete. The progress of the pump house will be above the ground level, will be almost 40% complete. Like the buildings, like these ancillary buildings, will be totally complete with roofing, and the chlorine house will be completed with the roof slab. The filter house, we will come up to the ground level. We will be at 7 meters level.
Abdul Latif Saidi, TBC Kigoma.
Zanzibar is expected to host Halal tourism exhibition on 13th October 2024 to unlock halal tourism potentials and national income generation through tourism. Speaking during press conference in Unguja, Zanzibar, the Minister for Tourism and Heritage, Mudrik Ramadhani Soraga, together with other stakeholders, explained further on exhibition and its significance.
To invite everyone to attend our very first Halal Tourism Conference that is set to take place on our beautiful islands of Zanzibar from the 13th of October. This is a truly historical event. We are going to be having a lot of special guests, including the one and only Mufti Menk, who is going to be joining us from the 12th all the way to the 14th. Halal tourism is a special brand of tourism product, and this goes in line with the government's action plan to broaden the scope of tourism.
The plan with halal tourism development in Zanzibar is really to make sure that we have a framework to accommodate this type of tourism. And how is that? So we've seen the best practice in other countries, and what they've done is, first of all, to create forums to create awareness. This is exactly what we're doing with the exhibition on the 13th of October, which includes panel discussions. So we've invited experts nationally and internationally as well.
The mandate that we have as PDB is to ensure that the goals of the president and his vision is realized. So in order for this to be realized, we need to make sure that we diversify the markets which we have. So if you look at halal tourism, it's a new target market. It's a target market just the same way as like you would want to tap into the Chinese market or into the Australian market. So we need to look at the infrastructure that is needed in order for us to cater for such a market.
The Sea Sense organization, which deals with the research and care of endangered sea creatures in collaboration with the USAID organization, has come up with various innovative methods to ensure that marine resources are protected and improve the lives of the people of the Bagamoyo district through the Blue Economy agenda. Speaking during the launch of the USAID Respect the Ocean project in the Bagamoyo district in the coastal region, the director of the Sea Sense, Gosbet Katunzi, says that the project aims to promote community awareness on marine resource management.
As a Sea Sense, one of our operational goals is leadership and governance. It's one of our 4 pillars, and that's where the aspect of supporting, working with the government as partner on policy formulation or policy implementation, if the policies are already there.
On the other hand, the Administrative Secretary of the Coastal Region, Rashid Mchata, and the participants of the launch say the project has come at the right time, where the government continues to put emphasis on building the blue economy.
I'm glad that they've selected Bagamoyo among other parts of Tanzania to implement the project, but I would like to say that the coast region is over 100 kilometers square of the coast. So we need to take this project at Bagamoyo as a role model, and then we see how we can roll over to other parts of the coast region.
More than 700 million shillings have been allocated for the project. The Aga Khan Education Services Tanzania urges other schools in the country to have lessons on environmental conservation so as to nurture future generation that is aware of its environment. The call has been made by the Executive Director of the institution, Dr. Shelina Wali, during the exhibition focusing on environment, while the Director General of the Tanzania Institute of Education, Dr. Aneth Komba, responding that the government has already included the subject in the new curriculum.
Students are the heart and soul of our country. We know right now that our country is dominated by youth, and these young people are going to be the youth of tomorrow, but they are already the leaders of today. Putting students in the forefront is allowing them to start leading good practice now.
Now, before we wind up our local news tonight, let us now take a look at the exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. And here is international news as compiled by Lulu Mohammed and read by Antonia Kivaria.
Vice President of Nigeria, Kashim Shettima, has reiterated the firm commitment of President Bola Tinubu's administration to revolutionize Nigeria's digital economy, insisting it's on course and fully backed by the necessary supports, initiative, and partnerships. To this effect, he says the Nigerian government will continue to open its doors and willing partners and stakeholders who will continue to believe and invest in Nigeria's project, adding that it's just a matter of time before the nation takes its rightful position across the globe. The vice president, who gave the assurance on Thursday when the management of Odula Investment Company Limited, led by its chairman Bimbo Ashiru, paid his courtesy visit at the presidential villa in Abuja, praising the company for its initiatives and investments in agriculture, digital economy, and micro, small, and medium enterprises. The U.S. presidential candidate for Republican Party, Donald Trump, said he will not participate on the third debate with the Democratic candidate Kamala Harris, who is also the vice president of U.S. Donald Trump met Joe Biden at the presidential debate before Joe Biden withdrew from the race. A second debate has been planned for September 10th, and despite the changing dynamics of the race, both Harris and Trump agreed to continue with the scheduled event, which took place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris is said to be the most watched event by many people in this period, heading up to the U.S. election, expected to be held on November 5th this year.
Thanks, Lulu Mohammed and Antonia Kivaria for the international news. Stay tuned now for all the latest in sports news. And in sports news, former Nigerian captain Nwako Kanu urges African players with African origin to play for their countries to enable one of the African countries to win the FIFA World Cup in a few years to come. Speaking to TBC News in Dar es Salaam, Kanu admits that during his era, they failed to make Africa proud by winning the FIFA World Cup, but they paved the way for other generations to do so.
I believe that, the East Africans can do it, and they are capable. But at the same time, they have to look back to see the mistakes that the other ones have done and make sure that they do it well.
Kanu led Nigeria national team to win Olympics medal in 1996 in Atlanta and played impressively to help Arsenal to win several trophies, including English Premier League. Kanu established the Kanu Institute that seeks to aid underprivileged children in Africa, particularly those grappling with heart problems. And that's the sports news. Now, before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours starting from 9 p.m. tonight.
This is Amina Saleh from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Welcome to 24 weather forecasting starting from tonight. The wind is expected to flow at the speed of 30 km per hour for the northern coast, and the state of the sea is expected to be moderate. For the southern coast, the wind is expected to flow at the speed of 20 km per hour. The state of the sea is expected to be slight. For the Lake Tanganyika, the wind is expected to flow at the speed of 20 km per hour. The state of the lake is expected to be slight. Lake Victoria and Lake Nyasa, the wind is expected to flow at the speed of 30 km per hour. The state of the lakes are expected to be moderate. The minimum temperature is expected to be 10 over Njombe for tonight. For tomorrow, parts of Lake Victoria Basin, which include Kagera, are expected to feature partly cloudy condition and thunderstorms over few areas. Over Tanga and Isles of Unguja and Pemba are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, light rain showers over few areas, and sun period. And the rest part of the country are expected to feature partly cloudy conditions. Now let's have a look on 4 days weather forecasting. Dar es Salaam, partly cloudy condition is expected. Dodoma, partly cloudy condition with a minimum temperature of 16 is expected. Mbeya, partly cloudy condition with a minimum temperature of 13 is expected. Mwanza, partly cloudy condition is expected. Kilimanjaro, maximum temperature of 30 is expected. Morogoro, maximum temperature of 30 and minimum of 18 is expected. Arusha, maximum temperature of 26 and minimum of 15 are expected. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, thanks for watching and have a good night.
And that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Nasa King. We wish you a good night and a beautiful weekend.